Morning.
Trying to get this hair right.
Angle. I know. My hair too. Did you share this link?
I'm going to share it right now.
Cool.
1, 2, 3.
Look, we're matching.
Oh my gosh, we're matching.
I make it like a I'm thinking, and then I'll put it on.
I love it.
I got close today, huh?
I'm sharing this broadcast right now.
Okay. How much TV do you watch, like streaming and stuff?
Every night, my partner and I, we watch movies. We stream movies mainly. And we watch irreverent, cartoons like Rick and Morty and South Park.
Because I was thinking if there is something that we both have watched, we could do a mini little review.
Oh, okay. Well, give me some. I watched a lot of movies, like horror movies.
Oh. well, did you watch the new Quiet Place?
Quiet Place.
Dinner.
Oh, did you love it? I haven't seen it yet.
Good. I love. Well, Emily Blunt is not in this one, but I'm having the same hair thing you are today.
I'm having a hair moment.
Me too.
It's like, it's good. It's like right there. It's just, come on. It's like kind of like when your hair needs to calm down. Your hair needs to calm down.
And then
right after the show, it's going to be great because your own oils are in it.
I know. And then there's the mirror thing. Okay, here we go. Don't move.
If it's too clean, it's hard to manage.
You notice the difference in my angle?
Your angle's more from forward. It's great.
Yeah, I'm just playing with it.
I'm going to be back.
I see eyeballs rolling into the studio.
Ooh, more. Okay, it's 9 a.m.
This is a good idea, Ricky.
You take me. I'm going to take a...
You're free to chat. All right, here we go.
Get off that exhausting hamster wheel and into balanced living with Dr. Marissa.
Promise you joy in the mystery.
Dr. Marissa, also known as the Asian Oprah. Her mission, to be a beneficial presence on the planet. Her purpose, to be your personal advocate to live, laugh, love, learn. Her life motto, don't die wondering. Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pei.
And welcome. You're tuned into Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA, NBC News, CNBC News, and NBC Sports Radio Station, AM 1050, FM 106.5, number one talk in the IE, and the home for the Asian Oprah. And today is, as you know, Friday, because I have my fabulous co-host here today for the very special series, the Hollywood Rebel Report. And we have my my co-host with the most, is definitely my number one Friday co-host. He's Ricky Rebel, Billboard Top 40 recording artist, as seen on tour with Britney Spears. He's been a Grammy member since 2017, part of the voting membership for the Recording Academy. He was discovered by Michael Jackson, signed to his label on Sony, and later signed to Madonna's record label, Maverick Records. Please welcome back to my studio, Ricky Rebel.
Thank you so much, Dr. Marissa. Always happy to be here with you every Friday, 9 a.m. PSD.
That's right. And I forgot, we also are streaming everywhere: iHeartRadio, Spotify, Stitcher, iTunes, TuneIn, Audible, Amazon Music, Tiki Live, Podchaser, Spreaker, and of course, live right now. And I'm hoping you are either on Ricky's YouTube channel, where you can chat, watch, and listen, as well as my Dr. Marissa Pei YouTube channel, and Facebook and LinkedIn. And one of these days we'll figure out how to get Instagram involved. But
one of these days.
One of these days. But we're so happy to have you today. This is a show about hope and happiness. So you're not going to hear gossip that's not true. That's my new clarification, because we have to talk about Hollywood sometimes, and but I really do want to keep it different than what's on everywhere else, which is, you know, all the worst things about people and all the bad news. So that's not what this show's about. And you all know Ricky. You know, he just came out with a fabulous new album, Veronica. And I would be not, I would be horrible if I forgot to say and thank very, very much. We have a sponsor for this show. His name is Patrick Lockwood, Dr. Patrick Lockwood. And we're going to urge you to go and get his book, because it's an important book. It's called The Fear Problem. And we'll hear a little bit more about it in the middle of the show. But I just did want to start the show with saying thank you, Dr. Patrick Lockwood, for sponsoring this particular series. And now it is time for breakfast with, somebody gave you a heart, or me a heart. Us a heart. Dr. This is a good life habit, a discipline that I just started. Well, I didn't just 2 years ago. I think I started this, and we want to encourage you to have a really positive day. Why? Just because it feels good. So we start with breakfast and take a bite of our gratitude sandwich. So the top of the bun is things that we like outside of ourselves. The bottom of the bun, because I like it on the bottom. It is Friday. I can get a little naughty. The bottom of the bun is things that I like about myself, what Ricky likes about himself. So it's gratitude turned inwards. And I call that appreciation. So here we go. Do you want to start, or you want me to start?
I'll start. I am grateful that I live in a very beautiful place. I'm living in, am I allowed to say? I don't want to like give it away, but anyway, I live in Westlake Village. It's a very beautiful place in California. I'm grateful to live here. Every day I wake up, I lift up the window and I see like a beautiful Malibu mountains and everything, and it's just gorgeous. So I'm really grateful that I live where I live.
And I will copy that. I am grateful that I live on the beach, and every day I wake up and I look out and I see the ocean of abundance because I'm in Long Beach, California. And unfortunately, Ricky lives a little too far for us to be.
I know. We would be hanging out so much, wouldn't we?
We would. I mean, it's ridiculous.
If you were just a little closer to Calabasas, there's so many great things to do out here.
No, sorry. 3 things in life I don't understand: vandalism, terrorism, and why people live in the valley. But
I always love that joke.
No offense, but that'll be my second gratitude for technology that allows us to at least once a week get together and see each other and not just talk on the phone. So, and
that's so great. That is true,
guys. All right, go ahead. Your turn.
My second gratitude. I got to give a shout out to my cats, Willow and Maxwell. They have their own Instagram account, Max and Willow Cats, if you guys want to follow them. They're beautiful. They're my angels.
And I'm grateful for my cashew gallery here. My play on words, you know how I love to do that, instead of peanut gallery. And let's see who we have here this morning. I'm grateful that we have Hal, who gave us a clap. Not the clap, but Pam Givens, who loves you, Ricky. And Al, the fun guy. Veronica,
AJ.
amazing album. Oh, sorry, AJ. AJ, fun guy. I have a sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit with gratitude. And we've got Kiki here. Martinez Gonzalez. You're the best, Ricky. Yes.
Thank you, Kiki.
From one of our shows, and she was sharing about her dad. And
a roof over his head.
And AJ, grateful for Ricky Rebel, my cat Dusty, and a roof over my head. So there we go. We've got way more than 8 gratitudes. Thank you for joining us, loyal and fun Ricky Rebel supporters. So glad to have you here. And now we're going to go to the bottom of the bun, which is, what do you like about yourself? And I really hope that you also participate on this because it's so important. It's my BS, my belief system that good mental health starts with liking yourself, self-care, self-love, self-soothing. Otherwise, you're walking around, who likes me? Who likes me? Who approves of me? Who respects me? And with liking on social these days, it's literally, and it's going to be a tough way to live because you cannot please everybody all the time. In fact, you cannot please everybody some of the time. You can only you never know. Every day is going to be a number. So if you're
not even some of the time.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why it's so important to, have I done the best that I can with the time that I have and the resources I have? I say that every night before I go to bed. And the answer is yes. So then I can go to well.
Beautiful.
So
beautiful.
That's my first one. What's yours?
Mine is, I recently been very good at energizing people around me. So I love this part of me that's very get up, do this. I know I was in a pop group called No Authority, and we were signed to Michael Jackson's label and Madonna's record label. We went on tour with Britney Spears, as you mentioned in the beginning of that beautiful intro you said. And recently I've been I pushed them, and I finally made the commitment. I'm like, no, we're going on tour. Like we're just going to do this. Cause I saw, they're doing a lot of pop 2000s tours lately, with 98 Degrees, all these people we toured with in the past. And I'm like, what are we doing? So I gave them a call. I'm like, what are we doing? Get it together. Cause I know they know all those people. And so they're like all action oriented. Same thing with, another group of my old school. No, actually, we've been friends for 15 years, right? My friend Wayne and Jonathan Fairchild, we've been making music since we were very, very young. And finally, we made all this beautiful music that's like coming back in style now. It's called Electroclash. that style that's like, or it's electroclash, but now also has turned into hyper pop, which is Charlie XCX. So I'm like, we're going to release this music and we're going to do it as a group and we're going to do this and this. It's going to be a cartoon. It's going to be our Disney moment. And this is going to happen. And everyone's like, oh my God. So it's like this energy of like, this is what you're going to do. This is what we're going to do together. And we're going to make this happen. No excuses kind of energy.
And can I frame that into an appreciation? It's not that you're just inspiring, you are receiving inspired thought and acting on that thought.
There it is. That's deeper.
So
that's true. It's true. I'm getting inspired by inside. Yeah.
It's true. And it's on the tail of last week when we talked about what is it like to not push, not control, and allow, right? For what now, brown cow is my short form for that, because what the universe, my UPS man, universal power source, delivers is way better than I could control and plan for. So if I just allow, I'm receiving the inspired thought to go into inspired action, which is exactly what you're just describing that you've been doing all week. And my BS, my belief system, is that you set that in motion last week by setting the intention of wanting to do that. So I purposely am saying this because we're going to talk about something called the law of attraction today.
Yeah.
And that is true law of attraction. Some of you may have been introduced to law of attraction through The Secret, and I love my big brother Michael Bernard Beckwith was one of the teachers on The Secret. I've had several of them on the show, Neil Donald Walsh, etc. But it's gotten sidetracked because people think that the law of attraction is you just sit, you do a vision board, you sit under a tree, you meditate, and then visualize, and boom, you get the car in the garage. That's not the law of attraction. The law of attraction, true law of attraction, is setting the intention and then allowing for the inspiration. There's always action. You don't sit under a tree, you do nothing. Part of the joy of the law of attraction is the journey. And didn't you have fun this week calling and saying, wouldn't it be great if, and we're going to do this? And wasn't it fun?
It's very fun. Yeah.
And energizing.
I energized all my friends. Now they're all doing great things. They feel better about themselves, their lives too, that giving them purpose and meaning and action orientedness in their lives. So that makes me feel good.
So I sort of, I don't want to give any more away because we're not going to talk about the law of attraction, just all the good stuff. Have we finished breakfast?
I think we have.
Yeah, I think we have too. Thank you for joining us for breakfast. And I would encourage all of you that are in our Cashew Gallery and beyond, those of you especially who are on AM 1050, FM 106.5, on KCAA, NBC News Radio, to when you are in a not driving, please do come and chat, because we're going to explore spirituality this morning. We're going to correct some BS belief systems that maybe aren't working for you. That's what we're doing today. But thank you for joining us for breakfast. And please do continue this good life habit and hashtag Blisscipline that makes sure you sandwich your day in the most positive way. Thank you. All righty. Now, I'm going to live up to my honorable moniker, Asian Oprah, and attempt to do something live. We're stepping out on a limb here. Those of you who know the story of how we met, it was a little bit of trauma. We were bonded through trauma, meeting each other through another person. And we have been getting to know each other. And so one of the things about, getting to know each other, especially as a co-host, is, we have things that we have in common, and then we have things that we don't have in common. And I remember the day when I said to Ricky, I'm a big law of attraction person, and Ricky's reaction surprised me. He said,
What did I say?
"You said,
Get
you
the tea.
said, oh, I had a really bad experience with that, so no." And I was like, it took me aback.
You're like, wow. Mhm.
Anybody have that kind of reaction? And so I've kind of left it alone because I'm really trying to find things that we have in common as we gel, as
Right.
co-host. As I bring him into my family, I kind of turn my head when he posts about people
Yeah.
that not. Yeah, and we're going to be the example of, we can agree to disagree. We're not going to even talk about it, but I decided that, Ricky, the other day, is like, I just don't look at those posts you do. And that way I kind of forget that that's where you are, instead of, doing what people are doing these days. Oh, you support, oh, you're an idiot, or you're stupid, or how could you? I just don't go there. And I'm sure I don't put political stuff on. So you don't have to, you can like all of my posts, but
Yeah.
which
Safe.
you do, which you do, which you do. Thank you. But this, I said to Ricky, let's talk about this on the air. Let's talk about bad experiences you've had with spirituality or religion, and let's heal through it. And Ricky goes, that's what Oprah does. And I go, well, yeah. and she's a great teacher of it. And I thought, let me give it a try. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it, but if you can relate to any bad experience you've had with religion or spirituality, this is going to be hopefully a turning point for you.
Good. It's a
Fair?
great show for people, because I think everyone can relate in one way or another to either at some point maybe losing their faith in something that they once maybe believed in, which is a normal part of human existence, and shouldn't be. Uh, I mean, it's important to question reality. I was always that person growing up. I was always the kind of person that asked why in the
Mm,
classroom. So it led me to a lot of
shocker.
different. I wanted to know why this, that, why that, and I've had I've been to summer day camp with Christianity. It taught me a lot about God and religion, and as a child. So I was definitely um, raised as a Christian growing up, and I still pray to God. Believe it or not, I lift up that veil. I talked about the windowsill, but my prayer is very, very short. What I say is I'm grateful for my wonderful life, my beautiful life, and to forgive me of my sins. That's it. And in Jesus' name we pray, amen. That's all I ever say, because I don't think that anything else is really necessary for God to know or to understand with me. He knows I'm grateful, and he knows that I ask for forgiveness because we're not perfect. And according to that philosophy of, thought system, which is religion, the Christianity religion, they believe that if they pray to, if I say they, but I'm saying, like, when I am doing those things, we believe that he can erase our sins, forgive us for all of our sins, no matter what they are. If you ask for forgiveness, you ask him into your heart. That's what I was taught. Okay.
Okay.
As a child.
Yeah.
As I grew up and I lived in this Hollywood life, talk about the Hollywood Rebel Report. Hollywood is very difficult and very dangerous, and your dreams literally at points get crushed in many, many different forms by many different types of people. So you start to question the idea, like, wait a minute. I literally named my publishing company, my writing publishing company, Make Me a Moon. publishing because I prayed to God when I was a child. I said, "If you can make the moon, then you can make my career." Okay? You can make it's not a big deal.
Okay. Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
a big deal. You can make the moon, you can make me. You can make my dreams come true. Okay? That was my I was that child, you know?
Mhm.
And then
Mhm.
I lived through this life of, lots of pain, rejection, um, with
Bullying, bullying.
bullying, people telling me, "You can't have that point of view. You're gay. You need to be in the closet. You can't talk about that.
Mhm.
That's 90% of the country thinks that that's bad and sinful, and they won't buy your record." And then the same thing happened to me when I turned whatever age I was when somebody came down the escalator. Same thing. You support that, you're done. So I was feeling put that in the closet. Don't talk about it or your career's over. So I was feeling bullied in this direction. And then I was feeling bullied in this direction. And anyway, this trauma put me through a little bouncy ball, when the little ball's going back and forth, and people like, "I love you. I think you're a hero. I think you're amazing. I think you're scum. I think you're trash. I think you're, you know, death threats." Okay. It
Oh,
makes
I'm
you
sorry.
question a little bit about like, what does it make you question? I think as I got older, I was like, you know what? I don't know if God exists. And at the same time, I started to read about like philosophy, a lot about Marcus Aurelius, Stoicism. Really, the best philosophy that I ever went through. The only thing that ever made me feel better about my life, God, like hand on Bible, anything, was this program that I did. Um, it was called the Landmark Forum. I'm sure many of the people know what that is. That
Mm.
that changed my life. We want to talk about like God and spirituality, like whatever awakening. That was my brain being like, holy moly, I'm never in my life
Mm.
was socked in the face with truth more than that program. What the
Mm.
program taught me is that first of all, that life is a possibility. Okay. That anything is possible that we invent as a possibility and share with others and inspire them in this possibility. Okay. Um, I also learned how to get my relationship back with my father. I had a really bad relationship with my father. We would butt heads back and forth because we were too alike. And then I did the program, and then I realized, like, holy moly, like he's a really great man. He's taken care of my mother this whole time. He's been with my mother. You know what I mean? A great father. Right.
Mhm.
And I just found out how much I love my father. Okay. So I healed my relationship with my dad. And then, so I also realized that time is very important. Being on time is very important. Being your word is very important. Every time you do not be your word, you end up not believing yourself. So it's not about like, I believe in me. I believe in my talent. Well, you're inside of your brain. You're going, well, you were late for that meeting. I don't know if I believe you when you say you're going to do X, Y, Z.
Mhm. Mhm.
So, and then at the very end of the program, I'm going to give it all away. Is like we learned that life is empty and meaningless, and that there is no hope. Okay, that life is empty and meaningless. That was the best thing that I've ever been told in my life. Why? Because that meant that we have the power to make anything in our lives mean whatever they want it, what we need it to mean, that empowers us,
Mhm.
that things do not have an intrinsic meaning. So
Mhm.
that is the philosophy, and it's called existentialism. So that freed me. Okay. And I know it's a very weird thing to say, but like that idea freed me. Okay. So
Mhm.
cut to America's Got Talent.
Okay, that was a big jump. And before you go into that story, I do want to do a station ID here. Thanks for joining us. You are tuned into Take My Advice. I'm Not Using a Gift Balance with Dr. Marissa, the morning show. And as you can tell, it is Friday, and I have the Hollywood Rebel Report with Dr. Marissa and co-host.
Ricky Rebel.
Here on NBC News Radio, KCAA, AM 1050, FM 106.5, the station that leaves no listener behind. And we're going to take a quick break in this very interesting and riveting story to thank our sponsor for this show. We will be back in 2 and 2. Don't go away. Are you living in fear? Have technology and culture hijacked our minds and lives? Yes, fear is a natural biological response with plenty of evolutionary benefits. But has it gone too far? Find the answer to that question in the riveting book by Dr. Patrick Lockwood, The Fear Problem, available at Amazon and Mascot Books. So get your copy today.
Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pei.
And we're back. You're tuned in to Take My Advice. I'm not using a gift balance with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA, NBC News, AM 1050, FM 106.5, and streaming everywhere. iHeartRadio, Spotify, and like 50 more. Plus, Show Central, which is my Dr. Marissa Pei YouTube channel, where you can get not only my 1,190 shows, but who's counting over the last 637 consecutive weeks. But you can also get my celebrity red carpet playlist with my interviews with Halle Berry, John Travolta, Quincy Jones, The Temptations, and more. So thank you for free subscribing. You can also subscribe with a little money a month, like $3 will get you an hour of happiness coaching for free after every Monday morning show. So today, thank you. Today is a special day because it's Friday. I know, thank God it's Friday, but thank God even more because we have the Hollywood Rebel Report with myself and
Ricky Rebel.
And guess what we're doing today? We are doing a live
exorcism.
Yes, Ricky's head's going to turn around. We're looking at experiences we've had with religion and spirituality and getting unstuck maybe in some areas that aren't useful for us to be. So I'm going to try this, but we're getting the whole story, the truth and nothing but the truth from Ricky and his experiences.
Yeah.
And that I will take a stab at it. But if you have similar experiences or if you have anything you want to say or ask, please do use the Cashew Gallery chat. Here we go.
Wonderful.
Then you went to associate your existentialism. Grew up with a moon making god.
Yes.
Went to Landmark. Got a lot of mixed messages about love. That's a very important thing. People hated you. People loved you. People told you you couldn't be who you are. And then you went to Landmark and you learned that you could reframe things. That's what Landmark did.
Reframe.
And you decided that existentialism was your particular cup of tea for yourself, right?
Yeah.
Because that helped you. And now what? Oh, yeah. Cut to America's Got Talent.
Yeah. Okay. America's Got Talent was calling me a lot. Okay. They wanted me to perform, the producers. And before that, I mean, I did read the Secret.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was a big deal. I mean, the 2000s. I also I got the videotape. I used to watch it on repeat. I loved the messaging. You know, I loved the it made sense to me that what we think about, we produce in our lives. If we're constantly thinking about negative things, then obviously we're going to be saying negative things, which will attract. And you know what I mean? We're being
Yes.
negative. We're going to
Whatever.
attract that.
Yeah. Whatever you focus on grows bigger.
Right. And plus, I had read Neil Donald Walsh, one of my favorite books of all time when I was a child, about how what you resist will persist. Right.
And he's the best-selling author of Conversations with God. In case if you haven't read that, it's a foundation book. And one of the proudest things, Ricky, I don't know if you know this, my book, best-selling #1, thank you. On the back covered endorsement is, you know who from?
Neil Donald Walsh. Wow. Can we please have him on the show? Please.
I've had him on before. I
I'm
will
such
tell
a
him
fan.
that you are
I am
a
such
fan.
a fan.
And he
of his-
doesn't endorse books because usually, and I'm guilty of this, I will endorse a book without actually reading the whole thing, and he won't do that. So he's actually read the entire thing. So
Right.
I was so grateful. But anyways, go ahead.
Amazing. Well, that book, that's one of the books that really changed my life. That book taught me to let go of my guilt, that it's pointless.
Mhm.
And that book also taught me, way better than religion, about why there's evil in the world. Because
Mhm.
religion doesn't answer, in my opinion, doesn't answer that question. Religion just says we should fear God because he can do really horrible shit to us if we don't.
Oh, Ricky.
Shiitake.
I'm on FCC regulations as an NBC News radio show, and he doesn't. That's the first time, so we'll go back and edit that out.
Thank you.
I hope
I'm so
somebody had their
sorry.
finger button. That's okay. Go ahead.
I'm so
Hey,
sorry.
Compared to, I've been on your lives, and I'm actually pretty impressed that you've been able to. That's the first time in what, 2 months? Anyways, go ahead.
That if we don't do that, we will get punished. Okay.
Yes.
So what I learned,
feel like a God that needs anger management classes.
yeah, especially the first Testament, right?
Yes.
Very scary book. I read that book when I was a kid, and that also frightened me to death. But I used to write down the verses that did help me and I did love. Anyway, I'm beating myself up. But Neil Donald Walsh, back to Neil Donald Walsh. He was talking about the best description of why there's evil in the world is because we are here to experience ourselves as God, because we all are part of God. We are one with God. And in order to be able to experience ourselves as individual things, we need the opposite to exist. It's kind of like a painting. What is a painting without shadow? What is light without dark? We need both in order to have a differentiation between ourselves so that we can experience all of the emotions, all of the elements of what God represents. And so actually, it's imperative that does exist.
Yes. That's why I tell people you cannot be 100% happy. If you are, you're dead, because then you don't have contrast. So you have to have unhappy to know that you're happy, right? Dark in order to have light. So
right.
Exactly. So
these are very complex things. I mean, very, deep things we're talking about. So
yes.
Cut to America's Got Talent, and I will not cuss, I promise.
Okay.
But I talk about my experience with that. I was told that the producers really wanted me for the show. They loved my song, Boys and Sometimes Girls, which was a Billboard Top 40 record at the time. It was on the charts, and they were so excited to have me on the show. When producers call you, you don't have to audition. You don't have to wait in that huge line. You just go right in and you meet everybody, and they watch you perform. They go, oh my gosh, Simon's going to love it. Simon's going to love it. We love you. We're downloading the song ourselves. We're dancing your song. He's going to love it. And I was practicing the law of attraction at that time. And because I really wanted this to go well, I really wanted to kill it. And just I thought this was going to be like, oh, this is going to be a really great moment for my career. I'm going to get up there. I'm going to kill it with this great song that people love when they hear. And I said I was committed to having at least one good go around, and then maybe the second one or the third one, maybe they don't want to, whatever. I just wanted one great performance. Cool.
Right.
And so I was putting out in the law of attraction. I was like, this is going to happen. This is going to be great. We're visualizing that everyone's loving it, and Simon's loving it. The judges are loving it. And then we're every single day being positive. We're talking to everybody in a very positive way and bringing all that energy towards me, like goodness and da 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 da. And I'm like ready. I'm there at 4 a.m. with my dancers, and we're sitting there for like the whole day getting interviewed, nonstop interviews. And then I didn't go on stage till like almost midnight.
Ooh.
They kept me for the very last act because they thought that it was going to be such a big thing to end on.
Yeah.
And
didn't happen.
No, not only did it not happen, it was the most, first of all, my vocals were on point. The dancing was great. I was upset with one thing about my performance. First of all, the sound was really bad, and I think they intentionally tried to sabotage. This is my story in my head. Intentionally tried to sabotage things because the sound was all off. Like the music was very low. My vocals were very high. So in my mind, I felt like they were trying to sabotage me, and because they probably thought I couldn't sing live. So, or whatever.
Yeah.
They wanted something to not go right. So it just didn't feel right. The music wasn't bumping. I had a hard time getting my jacket off in the beginning. That's a whole other thing. But other than the jacket not being able to get off, I got it off right away. My body looked sickening. People literally gasped when they heard my age. They could not believe that.
How old were you?
Mid-30s.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't know if it was a long time ago and you were young, but so they gasped because you looked a lot younger.
Yeah.
Okay.
They couldn't believe it.
Okay.
Simon Cowell. Okay. So when I was describing what I that signed by Michael and all this stuff, like, I think, they were expecting a Michael Jackson moment. I think they were expecting like fireworks and a million dancers and like military costumes and choreography. And I'm obviously not Michael Jackson, and I'm obviously not Madonna. I am Ricky Rebel. I'm my own thing.
Yep.
But he's like, oh, he had some really snarky comments at the end. Immediately buzzed, or not immediately, like maybe like 1 minute in, like he buzzed me. And then of course the other judges buzzed like after the fact. And I was just like really shocked. Do you know why I was shocked? Why? Because I didn't see any other possibility of happening. Why?
Yeah.
Because I was so positive. I was so convinced that I was great and that this is a great product, because I know it's great, but I wasn't ready for the possibility of not. I mean, it was a little bit there, but not like a lot of it there. It was just like, okay, he might be mean, but I don't think he will. I really felt like he's just going to be cool, and he was absolutely not.
That's pretty cool.
And so, he said some mean things about my performance, and then the next person said some mean things, and then the next person said mean things, and then the next person said some mean things. And I was like, wow. I said, so you guys have like nothing positive to say. And with Simon, with his comments about like, oh, this isn't whatever he said. I said, well, I know why you're saying that. I know why you're saying that. And the whole audience was like, boo, like, because I was like, you're homophobic.
Mm,
Basically, you know, you just can't say it, but I know why you don't like my blah, blah, blah,
mhm,
what I was
mhm,
wearing or whatever.
mhm.
I know why. And they didn't boo, but I mean, some people booed because it's like kind of like a mentality of like if whatever Simon, you know,
Right, right. You challenged the
yeah,
alpha dog. Yeah,
I did challenge him. I think I said
yeah.
something. I said one thing to him. I said, "Oh yeah, that was the one thing I said." I said, "Oh, I know why. I know why you didn't like that." But there was a lot more I wanted to say. Like
Uh-huh.
even right now as I'm reliving, like
Sure,
the
sure.
the
Of
one
course.
main thing I really wanted to say to those judges is basically that so you don't have anything nice to say? Nothing positive, only negative? Now I want you to tell me what positive things about my show and my beautiful dancers.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
But I didn't at the time think about that because my brain was too flustered. So
Sure.
I ran out there and I was out of control. I was
Mm,
pounding on things out of, you know, I was angry.
yeah,
Very, 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 very angry at the peak
yeah,
level I've never experienced in my whole life.
yeah,
Because I've been in this industry since I was a child. I've never been told those things.
yeah,
That word has never come out of
yeah,
anyone's mouth.
yeah.
That I'm the M word. I don't want to say that fucking word.
Mm.
What? I can't, Dr. Marissa.
You're gonna have to pay for, you're gonna have to pay for the editor for this show.
I will. I'll pay for him.
Okay. So we're running out of time, and I wanted to obviously we're gonna continue this one next week because I think it's a really important thing to unpackage, and I don't want to give it just a surface level, but I want to make sure you have it all out. So this is part of my Happy 88 balance coaching process. Is this is obviously something that can be categorized as trauma because it affected you so strongly that I am going to bet that some of this still has a voice in your head so that it, you know, anytime anything really good happens, you have a critic that says, "Yeah, but," and that word that you've never been called and all of that, that is you too, and it can't be that true because you've had this happen. If it was really true that you are as loved as you are from all of these people in the cashew gallery who love you, then why did, and we've got Tennessee and Pennsylvania and Washington. I just wanted to take also a break to thank the people that are in the cashew gallery. But cutting back, this is an event that is still causing you anger, pain, resentment, bitterness. And that's what I call trauma. Anything that has not been neutralized, and what you don't deal with will deal with you. So the reason why I wanted to do this, and I'm really proud of you, Ricky,
Thank you.
for, you know, most people don't want to air dirty laundry of their own or admit to things that didn't work out the way they wanted to. So first, I wanted to applaud you for agreeing to do this. And secondly, I want to make sure, because what we're doing, folks, is I asked him, like, we all have this black hole in front of us, every one of us, whatever that trauma was. A lot of us don't have as big trauma on America's Got Talent, but we have some kind of trauma. 7 out of 10 of us go through childhood trauma. I would say 9.9 of us go through trauma in our adult lives, child and adult. So all of that culminates into a black hole that we all walk around with. And we're afraid that if we go and revisit that and unpack it, we're going to be Humpty Dumpty, break into a million pieces, and never be able to put ourselves together again. So we don't think about it. We don't talk about it. It's in the past. We don't need to deal with it. We can't change it. I can't go back and say all the things that I wanted to say to those judges or Simon. So I'm not going to deal with it. I'm going to see it in this way as it happened. And then I'm going to also go to MSU University, which is making shiitake up. So you don't know exactly what was going on, but you're now projecting or making up, being creative about what possibly could have happened to make all of this happen, which is armchair quarterback, the asking why, and in this particular, in every particular instance, to go back that way and ask why is not useful because you will never know. And you cannot change exactly what happened. But we can figure out what good happened as a direct result of this thing happening. And I want you to just sit with that.
Okay.
Because this is what we're going to come back next week with. Because if you are holding anything like Ricky is holding now, everyone does. And often the natural thing is to beat yourself up or beat someone else up. Thich Nhat Hanh has this great analogy. If someone burned your house down, so Simon came and he burned your house down. Those judges burned your house down. The temptation is to go run after them and burn down their house. That's natural, right? Fight, flight, but I'm going to get back at you. Instead, Thich Nhat Hanh says, turn around and put the fire out in your own house. So that's what we're doing. So I'm going to ask you, Ricky, to look at that situation. It happened. Can't change it. Have you told me everything that happened that day in its fullness? And the reason why I ask this is we only do this one last time, because after this and maybe next week, you will never tell this story in its entirety again. You won't have to. And to love yourself, you will not hurt yourself with it anymore. That's what we're doing. We're putting a treatment and we're digging in. We're in that hole, Ricky. We're in that dark hole that you think that you can't put yourself back together because of this particular instant. Now, the balance-centered Ricky knows that Simon is Simon. Okay, he's a different Simon now. I don't know exactly what happened, that he got a little nicer, but Simon is Simon.
Well, I know what happened. I was told by producers.
Oh, okay.
There's more to the story.
Okay.
I mean, I was told that because it was so late in the day that sometimes they get cranky. They're hungry, they're cranky, they want to go home, and they're over it. And the producer said, I made a very big mistake by putting you on last because they were in a very bad mood. And I am so sorry. And I feel like you do not deserve what happened to you. I am so unbelievably shocked that they did that to you that we're not going to air the episode. So they never aired the episode because of that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. That was, he said that it's happened in the past where great acts have been really, they've been very mean to because they're human beings. They get tired, they get hungry and cranky, and they just want to go home, and they're over it.
Mm-hmm.
So
does that soothe it all away?
No, not at all. I don't care. I don't care if they're hungry or cranky. The way that they destroy lives and careers like that, just with their snippet comment, their flippant comments. That's why I can't watch those competition shows. It's so mean and unartistic to pit artists against each other like that. A Monet should not have to compete with an Andy Warhol. They're completely different. A Van Gogh shouldn't compete with Michelangelo. They are beautiful in and of themselves and should not be competing with one another. So
wanted to answer my own question. One of the things that came out of this horrible thing was you have more compassion and a higher level of understanding around artistry and support. True or not?
very true.
Do you like that part of you?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Mhm.
So in time, you might be able to see this as one of the things called chiseling. And I'll end with this little story because we're going to dive deeper next week because there's lots of things to take apart here. There's two rocks in a store. One rock's on the left, one rock's on the right. The rock on the right gets all the attention. Everybody comes into this like a museum store. They go, oh my God, look at how gorgeous he is. Oh, wow, look at the way the light comes in through the prism and the color. And it's so beautiful. This goes on for 8 years. Nobody goes to the rock on the left. Nobody. Finally, after 8 years, the rock on the left jumps off its little pedestal and shakes its fist and says, "Life, you are not fair." That rock gets all the attention. Not one time have they said anything good about me. They haven't said anything that is positive, any good, no compliments, nothing. Life, you are not fair. Life comes into the store in its brightness and its love and its peace and puts its arm around the rock and says, "Darling, I love you. I see you for who you are. But every time I come down with my chisel to work with you, you say, no, stop. Don't hurt me. I can't take the pain. Don't, no negative. Don't want any, no, you got to love, all love, no negative, no hurt. I can't work with you." This was a big chisel, Ricky. But I know that as a direct result of that particular chisel, your music got better, your compassion got better, your understanding got better, your caring got better, your ability to intend got better. All of those things happened as a direct result of this particular traumatic event, because that's what trauma is. People have this misconception that trauma is there to hurt us. Trauma's bad. It makes us not good enough. 7 out of 10 of us with trauma. Are you kidding me? The majority of us think that there's something wrong with us. If it's the majority and majority rules, that means there's got to be another reason for bad shiitake that happens. And this particular shiitake, I'm glad that you wanted to do this, has nothing to do with the law of attraction. So I want you to take that out of the equation, because you're using the equation as it was erroneously taken by most people, that no, if you can envision it, it's going to happen on your timeline exactly as you do. And that is the worst definition of law of attraction. It has nothing to do with that. So I want you to give it a break. Give it Law of attraction, some slack. That's got nothing to. And we're going to do this next week because now I want you to stop asking why. Because why is not a useful question. What happened is a useful question, right? What happened as a direct result of this that is now helping me? That is now, right? I had childhood trauma. I had adult trauma. I was teaching at UCLA. I had great reviews, but I had one guy say, I would rather chew glass than listen to another one of Dr. Pei's lectures. That was so hurtful.
Yeah.
Now, I can be mad at that guy and go burn his house down, or I can say, I've had 99 compliments and that one thing. You've had 99 successful, at least 99 successful performances, right? And if you put them all together, I mean, you were discovered by Michael Jackson. No one's ever going to take that away from you. And who the fork is Simon Cowell, right? So I use that as a, exclamation mark. But we're going to come back next week. So please do come back next week for the Hollywood Rebel Report. We do have to leave because of the FCC time, and we have to give time for the news. But thank you.
Thank you.
And you're going to have to sit with this for a week, and it's okay, because I want you to make sure that you've told me everything, because it'll be the last time.
All right.
Got it?
Okay. Yeah.
Got it?
Thank you.
All right. I love it. We've got some love here, some really good thoughts today. Thank you. And thank you. All of you for joining us here. As usual, we're going to do this. It's all about balance. Peace in, peace out, world peace through inner peace. This is Dr. Marissa and
Ricky Rebel
here, wishing you to have the best weekend
ever.
We'll see you next Friday.
Take back your